So, welcome back to Savage Zombies. Where we left off, the party had just finished saving Master Shi from his mansion in New York. After retrieving his power generator from his mansion after a harrowing event in a van, with many, butt pucker moments as many crit failures happened, leaving the Xavier hanging off to the back of a bumper, screaming for his life. The party was able to push back the zombie horde attacking and make their way back to camp, where Sir Chadwick and the others were able to bring Amber's grandfather, Master Shi, back to the city park and the LARP faction. As we say, the next night came, as you guys had some RPs in your texts. We will take it off in the next morning after you all have a good night's sleep after your harrowing adventure. I just realized, considering how long last session was, nothing really happened apart from the van, did it? Oh yeah, the other thing I did is you guys got your special booze.
Woo!
We were hemming and hawing over the generator for the majority of that session, I think.
You really were, yeah.
And we finally decided to bring it with us.
We did it!
Woo! Red can keep having their Pokemon.
No, that's Humming. That's Hummingbird.
Yeah.
Everybody can keep their electronic devices charged. So, the next morning comes about as you guys are out in the area gathering about. Sir Chadwick and the others seem to be speaking Master Shi and Amber, as there seems to be a discussion going on between the four of them, Master Shi, Amber, and Timmy. Anyone who might be listening might catch the couple Asian word of generators, power outages, and of the such. But as you guys are about and about, what do you want to do?
I think Liz still probably has some kind of rain in her ear after firing point blank a fortified pistol with no windows open. So she is still just wandering about, just like, oh, damn it. Still can't hear properly after all that shit. I really need to learn to roll down the windows before I do that.
I think, honestly, Xavier's probably inside of the wooded area of the camp foraging about.
More branches.
Just go look over to see Xavier out in the bush of the park trying to find anything and everything.
He's getting wild potatoes. Some wild potatoes, some wood sorrel.
Heron's been, or at least in the morning, Heron was amusing herself seeing how many plushies she could stack atop a sleeping hummingbird until she woke up and noticed.
And it crashes on top of her.
Mm-hmm.
Probably like all of them.
To be fair, it's not like I have a huge collection, but...
And they don't even she doesn't even wake up and move them. She tosses in her sleep and it all goes crashing down and she sleeps through it all.
That is so much better. I love that.
Keith, what have you had me doing the past couple of sessions that I missed?
What did I have again? Wasn't Hummingbird just sick with a cold last week, is what we said more or less?
Sounds like it.
Yeah, I think you were just
Which
sick
you have
and...
to be pretty fucking sick to not want to fight, but alright, fair enough.
Joe got the coronavirus.
Oh, there were a couple of small generators that Heron, well, we'd taken back for the camp, but Heron had snuck at least two of them into their, what's it called? Tent. To have Hummingbird try to fix for herself for her games.
Okay.
So I think we
That's
took
fun.
out a few car batteries. That way Hummingbird could connect them to see if we can make a small generator for a short time.
It was so she could keep playing Flappy Bird. I'm glad you're staying up with,
And you guys got a large generator now. And like you guys got an actual proper fully fledged generator now.
The best part about it is like, so that wasn't her phone. Like she found it somewhere. So like, it still has OG Flappy Bird on it. And she felt like she won the lottery.
Exactly. So I made sure you had 2 car batteries to make sure that phone stayed charged.
I can't believe you have a jumper cable to USB-C adapter.
So like, after a while, she'll roll over and see the pile of plushie. I think I'm feeling better today.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
I don't know what the fuck they're gonna have us doing today, but I'd be scared of seeing you going 3 more days without punching someone. I don't think you'd explode.
I feel like I might.
She grabs a stuffy that had like rolled off when like Hummingbird rolled over and just like tosses it at her head.
She like tosses it back way harder than is appropriate.
Beats her in the head. Like, hey!
You know what? Just for shits and giggles, Red, just roll me a vigor check.
Let's go. Please God, it would be so funny.
I can't believe Jim
I
Charles
wanted
left you
to.
a major concussion.
Aww.
Okay, so you guys gotta just hear boop coming from their tent. If you failed, I was gonna have the thing actually hit you so hard that it knocks you out of the tent.
Jesus Christ.
There's a brick inside one of the stuffies, I guess.
That and Red weighs all of 80 pounds soaking wet. So.
Yeah.
You feeling
She's
alright?
got, like, she's got one of those like tall carnival ones that are just as tall as she is.
Yeah.
Fuck, not anymore.
No, I mean, you went out. It sounded like you guys got into some trouble.
She like pauses for a moment, looking a bit conflicted. Nothing we couldn't handle.
I feel a little bad not being here. Is that guilt? I don't fucking know.
I didn't hear the last part.
I said, is that guilt? I don't fucking know. I just know that I'd be pissed if you didn't come back in one piece.
It's not your fault. I'm the older sister here. If you went out feeling crappy and got your ass eaten by a shit ton of zombies, I don't know what I'd do.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
Rather you staying up in tip-top shape before you head out. I mean, you already go crazy as it is.
Yeah, I imagine I'd
I don't know
get
if you
winded
have-
real quick if I was sick.
Do you even have any self-preservation in that, little head of yours?
Never heard of it. Like a smile and going.
You would make a very cool zombie.
The coolest. I can't play Flappy Bird if I'm a zombie, so what's the point?
With you and your skills with electronics, I'm sure you'd figure out a way.
What do you say we go get something to eat?
Sounds good to me.
She'll like get up, get dressed, and head out.
As you head out, Hummingbird, you see something different, a new person standing out. You see this elderly old Asian man with like a old-fashioned alcohol gourd in his hand, just kind of drinking and swaying back and forth, walking about.
Oh fucking Christ! What is this?
As you see this man,
Yeah, so we went all that way for someone's crazy grandpa.
Who's grandpa?
Amber's, I think?
Oh,
The lady who's definitely fucking Chadwick. Which it turns out, she'll like lean in and recount, turns out she was fucking Chadwick. He just lost his memory of it.
bitch lied to me. What the fuck?
the phrase
has
she said,
no
Kurt, was, "I'm not currently having sex with Chadwick."
Yeah, Hummingbird still takes it as a slight.
There will be retribution.
I mean, it would be kind of sad if it wasn't also so fucking funny.
So, you mean to tell me that this nut job lost his memory?
Apparently was a semi-normal guy at some point.
Can't believe it if I see it.
I don't think we will.
Maybe if you hit him hard enough in the head, he'll come back to normal.
Like a reset switch?
Like a reset switch.
Nothing like cartoon logic.
Maybe
Someone
if we
get a
smacked him in the head
comic
again.
Hammer.
We hit him till he makes sense.
Or he
Yeah.
turns into a handsome version of himself.
But as you two
So
leave
true.
Red, Master Shi goes, "Oh, hello, Red. How are you doing this morning?"
She like squints at him, taking a few steps back. Fine.
Hummingbird follows, also taking a step back.
They're scared.
He kind of blinks and looks, and kind of shakes his head. It's like, "Oh, who is your friend?"
My sister, Hummingbird.
"Oh, pleasure to meet you."
Yeah, I'm sure it would be.
He says as he walks back, taking it. It's like, "Oh, do not be to be rude. Would you like some?" As he kind of hands the proffers the gourd towards you.
The what?
Gourd.
I don't know what that word means.
It's basically like hollowed out. Yeah, like that. That's a gourd.
Yeah.
Where am I looking?
They're like
In
in
the
general.
It looks like a peanut-shaped water bottle.
Yeah.
It's basically a plant that's been dried and is used to store
Yeah,
water.
it's a type of squash that's been hollowed out and dried to turn into a drinking container for sake generally.
Sake is it's some pretty strong stuff, as we confirmed last time.
I'm alright. Yeah.
Oh, very well. Glad to make your acquaintance. Now, where is my granddaughter? I need to speak with her.
She, not right behind you?
He starts turning around and just starts doing like the dog twist turn after a bit.
She takes that opportunity to walk away.
Hummingbird follows far too quickly and far too enthusiastic.
So get this. Crazy old man who actually fucking knows Kung Fu, like some sort of Karate Kid movie. In this... Looks like it was a dojo, like, ripped straight out of Japan. Cherry blossoms and everything.
Right. And you found him there?
He was just living it up. Master of a dojo had chained his students, which were, of course, zombies. And I think was using them as target practice, or was trying to train him. It was hard to tell. But I got some throwing stars out of it.
Not a bad deal. Interesting. You guys have been busy. Huh.
Yeah, well, we were gonna go deal with the power, but with you feeling sick, no one really wanted to leave our expert electrical person not here for that.
Yeah, that makes sense. Is there anything that still needs to be fixed?
I mean, we dragged his giant fuck-ass generator back with us. That probably needs setting up.
Easy enough. I say before I fail all of my rolls.
It explodes.
Okay, Heath. I'm ready to fail my check.
Hey, well, you go over to find this generator. To be fair, after everything you guys went through in the van, I think it got banged up a bit, is a fair assumption, based off of all the things happening. So you kind of look over and you figure out, like, yeah, there's probably some things wrong with it. So just roll me your repair check.
What the fuck happened to this thing? It's beat up.
You also see a little bit of blood on it.
Whose blood is this?
It ate Corel.
It's a lot of candidates. We kind of had some extra passengers when we were driving back.
I see. I'm gonna like lean forward and look at the blood. What the fuck? Are there any like pieces of hair or anything? Like, can I identify who this came from?
Is it just like type AB or like E negative?
I'll tell you what, you can roll me a notice check at -4, just because you're like, this is gonna be a hard thing to discover.
For fun. Yeah.
Nah, just really no way of telling whose blood this is.
Sure is blood.
Hey, you know, fun stuff. Me and Xavier almost fell out the window. I should really stop trying to, like, drag people back. That's never been my strong suit.
Oh, your arms are the size of a toddler's.
Thanks. Can always count on you to cheer me up after I nearly fucking die.
How are you doing risking yourself for someone else anyway?
Well, the more people hanging out of the car, the slower we were going. So we either needed them out or in.
They first
I
chose
know what
out.
option I would have picked.
It was very nearly out. Actually, as a matter of fact, it was out.
It was out. Well, that's the option I accidentally went with, if that helps.
Makes me feel better.
Anything to cheer up my favorite sis.
Wait a minute. How does my repair check go?
It takes a bit, but you are able to fix it up. You see there were some loose wires that had kind of gotten jarred from all the stuff. You also decided to work out a bit of a dent here and there.
Pretty it up.
Yeah, pretty it up. It was in functioning order, but you figure if you hadn't kind of gone over this, there was a chance it could have been a problem down the line. But you feel secure now that you fix it up where it should be more or less functional for the time being, though with your knowledge of mechanics, it's going to need some maintenance here and there.
Okay. Well, it's working. Might need maintenance and parts down the line, but it'll hold for a bit, for sure. Despite the abuse it took.
I don't even know what these people would use it for. I don't think horses run on it.
No, but maybe they want to play Flappy Bird on their phones. Can I tell, like, do they have anything currently hooked up to it? Like, is there anything, like, do they have, like, a power grid or anything that's supposed to run the LARP camp? Anything, like, immediately telling of what they plan to do with it?
The moment, I'd say, yeah. You know what? I'd say at this point, the only other person who actually might have any idea how to fucking work this kind of shit, you see Timmy coming along. As he seems to have wires that seem to be connected to the lighting for the lamps and stuff. Basically, you gather the most important thing this thing will do is keep the park lit at night so things can't pop up and eat people.
That makes sense.
Right? Like that is kind of the main feature of why this is good. So you see Timmy kind of grabbing wires to try to hardwire the city parking lights into this generator.
Thank fucking God, I'm not getting any more sticks for campfires.
Hello, you two. See, you're up. You doing well?
Yeah, peachy, Timmy. Do you need any help with that?
Oh, actually, it would be appreciated.
She nods
Aaron,
and all.
Aaron will kind of smirk at her. Since when are you helping people?
What do you mean? I get a chance to play with electronics. Not something
Fair
that
enough.
comes by easy nowadays.
What, 2 car batteries wasn't enough for you?
It was alright, but it only holds me over till I get to the good stuff. For reference, fixing light fixtures is not the good stuff, but it'll do.
You'll get there someday.
Do you want me to do a roll to try and help him?
Do you want to assist, or would you rather take lead?
I'm not gonna help him. She's gonna take lead.
I was gonna say, the help action is very not hummingbird coded.
Yeah.
Fantastic. He will assist you then. Let's see what he rolls.
Perfect.
Well, he failed.
Very good.
As he is not a ace, so he doesn't get that D6. It's a bit tricky, but you are able to hook up the electrics to the thing, though you do get a little bit of a static shock here and there, as you are playing with some, like you're trying to decouple the thing with the wires. Nothing serious. They're kind of dead, but it's more like you just got like a static shock versus an actual electrical current surging through you.
Yeah, I feel like it'll shock her every time. It's just like, like every single time she gets one.
But after a good like say hour or so, you're able to seem to hook up all the main cord lights he created that hooked up to the lamps to this generator.
While this is happening, Aaron's gonna go and grab them breakfast.
Speaking of breakfast, throughout the history of our camp, what do we generally eat?
Generally, you probably start off with things that were perishable, like bacons and eggs, and like you see things like that, like cured meats they had. from what like to be the Renaissance fair style. But you find it's been a month, so most of that stuff's done. And now you're starting to eat more things like canned foods they found, or any sort of the fresh fruits and vegetables they could find throughout the gardening.
Because I'm gonna say this right now, I think once the supplies begin to dwindle, Xavier has probably shifted from his weather reports to teaching anybody who will listen about agriculture in order to form something of a food team.
Oddly enough, they had been forming that even before you had joined, but you would be definitely able to enhance that ability.
1000%.
Yeah, because
Also, he's preventing the food from becoming too fucking bland, because that can and will happen during apocalypses. He's not going to let that fly. He's using local spices and things that he can find in order to prevent everyone from just slugfesting through eating.
I can't believe your Hispanic side is showing.
1000 fucking %.
Listen, we're not subsisting on British food here. We're gonna live our lives like normal people.
No. See, that's not gonna fly with him, and that's exactly where you find Xavier. Actually, he is currently throwing what seems to be some unknown greens into a large pot. He's preparing some soup.
Yep, that's definitely something you'd be able to create. As I said, you guys do have a rather large population, well, comparatively large for an apocalypse to feed, right? As I said, there's probably a few thousand people in this park.
So what are you growing right now, Xavier? I mean, I gotta see potatoes, because potatoes are, like, debatably one of the easiest plants for square inch to nourishment. So it's probably one of the best plants.
If you want an actual answer, I have an actual answer for you.
Let's hear it.
So I'm assuming the existing what's it called? Okay, sorry.
You may not get your answer.
Yeah, probably not.
Dude, it just died. Sorry, guys. I guess we're eating.
Atop the existing crops and the like that exist, what he's been doing is that on the travels that we take, just going throughout the area, he's been basically finding seeds and other plants that are indigenous to the area and have been bringing them back to camp. And through very careful selection, because plants can and will start turf wars with one another until nothing is left, there's the actual farm, and then there's his quote-unquote personal farm, which, let me just say, this entire like tree area on the bottom left quadrant of the camp has become like every single area where it's just like the flat grass. No, it's been taken over by several different plants all over. The local wildlife, little bits and whatnot, have found their homes inside of this area. It's become a grove, basically. And what he does is that for the people that were already existing inside of the sort of agriculture/food team, he's been teaching them about a bunch of indigenous plants and things of the sort that can help enhance the actual food. So things like the acorns and nuts from the trees, the maple and sap that may exist inside of some of the maples, if they are inside of this area. Wood sorrel has been something that he's been introducing as a pretty prominent leafy green that is hardy enough to exist in a lot of seasons, and so forth. I think he would probably place an emphasis, though, on a lot of the leafier, richer vegetables more than anything, because ultimately nutrition is very important, and fruit is less important, but nice to have.
Yeah.
Just that type of stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, any fruit you guys would get would have to be from pre-existing trees. It would take years for a fruit tree to bear.
Oh, precisely.
Yeah, exactly, right? So The fruits
He's
from
not trying
foraging.
to-
The vegetables, you could start getting results in a few months. The fruit would take years.
Yeah, no, that's exactly it. He's
Yeah.
worrying about vegetables and vegetables only. Fruit, he frankly just steals them if he ever comes across them.
Actually, speaking of making a agricultural group, I was thinking having Liz doing kind of something similar, but for guardsmen, like for guards. Like she could do like a bit of a boot camp in her situation, just to train up some of these locals to,
So yeah, you want to take your military training and train them for
Yeah.
to teach them how to do actual fucking patrols and such. Yeah, that's what I do. Tell you what, let's
Yeah.
make some rolls for this.
All right.
For your training, Andy, let's just see here. I would.
Tactics.
Yeah, I was
Or,
about to
like,
say
battle?
it's either battle. Battle's more for active combat. This would probably be tactics, or let's just look at the skill list quick here.
Tactics is just battle.
Like I was thinking
Yeah.
fighting, because then I could train them on like how to do hand-to-hand combat in case. They
Well,
run
I mean,
out
if
of
you're just
weapons.
training how to fight, then fighting. If you're training them how to, patrol and stuff, that's an intelligence-based thing, Nandy.
Fair enough.
I would say if you're training them like to be soldiers, that would be tactics. If you're training them
Okay.
just how to fight, yeah, then it's just you can use a fight check.
Yeah, no. I don't think I actually. I probably should have added that because I didn't see tactics. I should probably have added that when I made it, but that's fine. I'll maybe just add that next level up or something. So would that be just unskilled attempts?
Just because you do have a background in it, I'll allow it just to be a straight int.
Rated. All right. So smarts.
Yeah, I'll allow it to be smart. You're just trying to do some basics.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, you're able to kind of get them into the area of teaching and back into the thing. They pay attention and listen to you. You
Liz
seem
is
to be able
taking
to
off her
put them in.
beret. Liz is taking off her beret, putting on full drill sergeant hats and everything. I remember back when I was in boot camp. This is bringing back so many memories. The only better part is that I'm the one that's pushing people's faces to the dirt instead of mine.
Yeah, so it is battle, by the way, Andy, if you're looking forward to taking in the future. That's for tactics.
Got it.
It
Make
literally
sure-
says it can be used for general military knowledge. So that's
Yeah,
what you were trying
I'll
to
take-
use.
Next level up, I'm taking a couple of levels in that then.
Yeah, that makes sense. I think battle is what you're looking at.
Fair enough.
Andy, or Judah, with your farming, obviously just roll me a survival.
Understood.
Liz will just like take like a note out and just post it on the bulletin board saying, looking for new recruits to looking
And,
for training and soldier training.
yeah, Zaber, you're doing a decent job getting the fields and everything ready with the planting. You think you got a good concept? Like, you're not going to get immediate results. It'll probably take, like, as we say, it'll take months for the food to come up. But again, you're thinking long term. This is for when the canned food's going to eventually run out.
This is true. But
Yeah.
also, there's just some things that were already growing there that just grows everywhere. Like,
Well, that's
tells
yeah.
you the
You've been
preference of
foraging,
local-
but you're trying to create a garden. Here was what you were specific. So this is the future garden.
essentially, yeah.
Yeah.
His own personal spice grove, essentially.
Yeah, so you're building a nice spice grove for the future. Otherwise, you probably don't have to worry about running out of spices in New York, being it's a 99% of spices are non-perishable,
That's true.
right? And you still have a city of that was, what, 10 million people in New York City? I can never remember.
There's a few.
Man, I guess it's less even just spices, but it's also just like a wider variety of fresh things as opposed to canned goods.
Hey, 8.3 million.
8.3
Yeah, it's like close to 10. I was close. Close to 10 million. Yeah. So 8.3 million people used to live there. Now there's maybe a few 100,000 if total. So, there's a lot of extra spices to go around for a bit.
And a lot of zombies in the way of that.
Indeed. But if you go raid someone's... on the plus side, most houses should have some. So at least it'll be easier to come by. Food's the bigger issue because most of this food will start to spoil after a while.
Okay, well, that just brought an important lesson for me. I'm going to raid someone's spice cabinet every single time.
Every time you guys go by a house, you see Xavier walk into someone's random kitchen and just comes out with a bunch of paprika.
He walks, and every single time he walks, it's like fucking maracas being shaken.
His entire instead of Red's bag full of bullets, it's Xavier's bag full of spice.
Yeah.
You don't want to confuse the two. They have two very separate purposes.
Red just grabs a fucking random pepper shaker and tries to load it into their gun and starts swearing like crazy.
You said something about pepper spray, but this isn't working.
I thought it was gunpowder.
Pocket Sand just got an upgrade.
Barrel sand.
But yeah, to the present though, you said you were going to get breakfast, right?
Oh yeah. While Hummingbird was going to prepare, because it's not like I can help with that. She was just gonna go grab them breakfast.
Oh yeah, he would be sitting at just wherever, because I'm imagining there's kind of a larger food section and team going along. He would just be
but basically
in
you'd be
there
cooking
preparing his food.
you'd be in the cooking. It's basically soup kitchen style.
Yeah.
As again, you have to feed a lot of people and try to keep your resources and fairly. That's where I'm looking at. Yeah, you have to ration your resources decently.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And he would. Sorry, go ahead.
She tenses a little upon seeing Xavier, but reluctantly walks up anyway.
Also, just imagine for some reason Xavier somehow found one of those Kiss the Cook aprons.
Absolutely.
Honestly, yeah, actually. He wouldn't even bat an eye. He would just be like, "Oh, look, an apron," and he would just put it on.
He's currently he's creating a little chef's hat of grass for the bird. Weaving, that's the word.
You just see a
Honestly,
pigeon.
Yeah.
Archimedes just sitting on his shoulder while Xavier's stirring this big pot of stew he made for breakfast.
Mm-hmm.
Just picture Archimedes just hopping on the rim of the bowl and just dipping his beak into it just to taste it.
Nope.
That's not food safe.
Not. He would never let that happen.
No,
It's
bad Archimedes.
I like this. Oh my god, there's this fun fucking video of this girl cooking with her bird next, and the bird fucking decides to fly down and just lands on the fucking heating skillet. It starts I don't know. It decided to sit on the rim of the skillet, and then it starts screaming, and she's screaming, and she just kind of lifts the skillet. Nothing's on it, mind you. It's just still warming, and she just throws the bird, and the bird flies away. It was a whole thing. But yeah, Xavier would very much while he's stirring, he just has another hand next to his shoulder, and it just contains various seeds that he's collected, and that's the bird's meal.
I just picture just Archimedes just bopping his head around, just trying to get around the hands, but eventually just kind of relents.
Good diet for bird only. And he sees Red approach and kind of like a small double take. He seemed focused, if not maybe a little lost, as he was stirring, and kind of looks up at her and is just, "Hungry?"
Yeah, for 2.
Ah, she doing any better?
Yeah, she's out of bed. Probably gonna join us for whatever we're doing today.
Oh, well. It's a good thing that I made a soup. I know sometimes keeping down liquids is a little bit harder at times, so soup is a pretty good alternative.
Right.
Well, hand me the bowls. I'll fill you up.
She does so. Like, visibly her, like, shoulders are raised a bit. And she is avoiding eye contact.
I think he is too. Probably not for exactly the same reason. Probably, actually. I digress. But
His is survival. His is a survival instinct.
yeah. And he will do so. He'll just fill up the bowls a little bit. If anything, you will probably notice that once he hands them back to you, one has a slightly more significant amount of broth inside of it. And he'll just say, "That one's for Hummingbird."
She, like, looks up at him for the first time. Flashes a small smile. Thanks.
He sees the smile and for a moment actually seems caught off guard. And he kind of looks down and is I like to think that whenever he's relaxing at camp, he actually has a actual hat on. And the sort of brim of it hides his eyes, and his mouth doesn't move. If anything, it almost creases a little bit. And yeah, he basically gives her a curt nod in response. Tell her hope she feels better soon.
So right, as you turn around, you just hear the booming voice of Chadwick go, "Ah, so Ranger, glad to see that you're out about today, working in the kitchen."
Oh, well, you know, always trying to look for more work around here, and whenever we ain't risking our lives,
Indeed, noble calling and all that. Feed the troops. Get ourselves ready for battle.
Red
Just about.
beelines the fuck out of there.
As Red is just like leaving, she'll just see Liz with a group of marching survivors, just with her just like in a drill sergeant hats, doing cadence, making the survivors do.
I don't
cadence with
know
her.
what I've been told.
Yeah.
Being
C-130
bit by
rolling down the
zombies
strip.
mighty old.
Come on, Jenkins. You ain't walking in pattern. Don't make me drop you and make you do 50. I'm not really good at the insult thing. I really gotta come up with more insults in the meantime.
Start calling people maggots.
I know, but I sometimes have a lisp and I don't really want that to turn out.
Liz says,
No.
Figure looks up. What you call me?
Listen, this ain't the 1960s anymore, kid. I can't say that kind of word anymore. There's a lot of words I can't say anymore like that.
But what's it called? You were saying with Chadwick?
He's basically was just there to. Thing is like, by the way, Sir Ranger, if you and your companions are ready at some point, we were discussing strategies about what to do next with the city, the situation within the city, but take your time, of course.
Oh, well, I mean, you know, it's rightfully your camp. If you want to rally us up, you can.
Ah, posh, good sir. We just did a harrowing adventure saving Sir She from the vicious creatures of the night. We should probably rest up and worry. No rush on the thing. Hey there, what?
You know, we had talked about a couple things back during that mission. What do you remember when the whole apocalypse sort of situation started?
Well, I remember training in my fields of war, preparing myself for battle. When things broke out, I remember entering the tourney for the great honor of my people.
Right. I mean, you know, this convention or encampment didn't quite come out of nowhere, so I'm assuming that was all happening when all this sort of broke loose.
Of course, I was doing quite well in the jousting area at the time, as well as about to win my 5th tournament in a row. Bring glory to my king and country.
Yeah, big guys yourself, I'm not surprised that you held such a record. So then, I'm curious, when you went to this, came to this camp, did you happen to come with anybody?
He kind of stops, and you get this, despite the fact that he always has his helmet on as a gag sort of thing, except when he's eating. He just kind of stops, and you see the helmet tilted a bit. Oh, of course, you must mean my squire. Well, unfortunately, the poor lad was taken from the dark necromancer's ways.
Right. Okay, your squire. Anyone else? You know, fair maiden?
Ah, but alas, sir, I did not have a fair maiden on my arm during the tourney, no.
What about before?
Well, to be fair, the duty to the king has made things difficult for me to move forward in the hearts of romance, though I've had one or two courtships in my life.
Right. Your duty to the king, though. Anybody that we know, or?
He kind of looks at you confused for a sec. But it's the king, sir. I do not understand the question.
Oh, just, seeing as I ain't exactly from around here, there's a lot of the, politics of the local area that I'm unaware of. And, when you think of king, when you say king, and there ain't exactly anyone else leading this encampment,
Oh, but of course the king, he wasn't here at the tourney. Oh, no, I come from a distant land. Oh, of course, you would not be aware of this being from the country of York of New, but no, I come from a different land, Bostonian.
Right. And the king is there too?
Oh, of course.
Okay. It's quite funny, but you're, and I mean no disrespect, but through the couple of people that I've met throughout here, you are quite most peculiar. Not in a bad way, you're strong, charismatic, a little eccentric. I quite like you, but it just lead me to wonder how you came about to be this way, so to speak.
Well, I was trained by youth from my father in the past. And long story short, so I don't have to go to the full descriptor, he's basically telling you a story of him being raised as a young knight in a kingdom and a castle.
Yeah, it's like, this is very much fictitious, and it just, he nods and listens along, giving him his full attention while still feeding Archimedes birdseed before putting it away, because, can't make the bird too fat, At the same time, he's just... His face is almost unreadable for a bit, but after he finally, finishes adding the last little touches to the soup, he gets up and will clap Chadwick on the armored shoulder and is just, all right, well, good talk, but I guess we ought to do this whole, or have this whole meeting, right?
Oh, but of course, sir. Indeed, we should gather your other companions for this great event. New quest and all that, what?
Oh, you can leave it to me. I'll bring us back to...
Very good, sir. I will meet you back at the main pavilion.
Sure.
Tally-ho! And he wanders off.
He watches him walk off for a bit before he finally starts and goes after Red, goes after Alistair, Cade, and the likes. If he can find Cade at all, anyways. Man's kind of great at disappearing.
Derek, you there?
Yeah, what?
Basically,
That's
Xavier's
not-
looking for Cade and Alistair and everybody.
Well,
Yeah.
Oh. Cade's just with his sister.
You look over where your sister actually is, also been kind of helping around getting the kids and stuff fed with the breakfast as you look over to see Cade. I'm assuming Cade, what are you doing? Is your sister's kind of helping the children of the camp?
He'd probably help around, but he'd stay away from. Well, not. He wouldn't do anything that involves other people majorly. He'd more like help around and be like, okay, I'll carry things from here to there. I'll do this thing that's away from other people.
You basically look over
And then-
and see that your sister has Cade chopping onions.
And his sister would probably try to get him to do things with other people.
Yeah.
So
Probably encourages him to try to take food to the children.
No, he just kind of approaches and is just, Mr. Yorushi? That's how it's said, right?
Yorushi, but you can just call me Cade. You don't have to be formal or anything. It's fine.
I mean, all due respect, I usually reserve first names for those that I know all that well, and I don't quite know you all that well.
You know, after saving each other's lives a few times, you think you'd have earned the first name basis.
I guess that's right, but it's just the way I was raised, I guess.
It really doesn't bother me if it's easier to just say my first name. It's fine.
I ain't never been really good with names, anyways. But hey, request is made. I'll keep it in mind.
You could just call me like, hey, you there. That's fine too. I don't, if that makes it easier for you.
No. I'll try to commit it to memory. I mean, you're not exactly. You're not exactly easy to forget.
Huh.
As you say that, you just see that your Cade's sister nudge him in the ribs and see, go, come on, make a friend.
Thanks. I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Is there anything you needed?
Well, technically, I'm really just rallying the group of us to go ahead and talk to Chadwick. He had a new mission of sorts, but he doesn't exactly seem to be in a rush. The man seems to be more than content with just standing in a place and staring off into the great big blue, and points to the sky.
Did you want me to go rally the others?
Well, I mean, we can do that, but, granted, with a bit of a lack of trying on my part, it's kind of the first time I feel like I actually got to talk to you, so...
Yeah, I don't really... I'm not much of a conversationalist. I'm just doing what I can for the group, you know?
Is it just that you don't like people, or you just don't like talking?
I don't really have much to say. I never really picked up a lot of, like, fads and hobbies and things. I was usually more focused on just trying to get by with my sister, make sure she's okay, and not distracted. And he'll look over towards her and look back.
As you look towards her, she gives you kind of like, go on, come on.
But yeah, I was mainly focused on surviving back then, and nothing's really changed except, everyone being alive but not alive.
I mean, good point. I sort of get it. Survival has more or less been my entire life. Granted, from what I've gleaned of a lot of y'all, some of y'all ain't exactly had the choice. My mama, she is kind of the one that I learned a lot of the things that I know from, and she kind of taught me for the sake of, moving out in the world, but also because I was young and I didn't really have a hobby or much technology to begin with, so she brought me outside, and that's where I learned a lot of things that I know, really. That being said, I don't exactly quite know how to talk to people in most situations, considering that I don't really hang around people either. But, the way I see it, we kind of need each other.
You seem to be doing pretty well at talking to people, to me. A lot better than myself.
Some people within our very group would very much disagree with you on that one.
I feel that they're just a little harder to talk to in conventional standards, I suppose. I wouldn't take it too hard.
I generally try not to, fact remains, as my mama always said, you can't make everybody like you. That's just not practical. But the way I see it, I'm not much different from you. I don't know, kind of just tried to go with the effort of it. If not, also because being around a bunch of strangers while trying to survive doesn't exactly improve your chances of doing so. I guess what I'm trying to say is that even if you don't exactly like talking, and he points towards the tree line, I frequently find myself inside of there by myself, and if you were ever, bored, I certainly wouldn't mind the second body.
Sure.
He smiles at that. Well, good. But anyways, yes, I do need your help with rallying the troops, so to speak. In fact, speaking of troops, and he points over in the direction of Liz, probably best to start there. I'm gonna go ahead and get Alistair. I think he's still around Macedonia, but by chance.
Sure. He'll like hesitate and be like, "Is this conversation over?" It is. Okay, I'm leaving now. And he slinks off.
As you slink off, you just hear your sisters. I'm so proud of you. That was such a good improvement.
If he hears that, which he probably would.
Yeah, exactly. Well, she said that to you. That's what Xavier hears in the distance.
Oh, Xavier is he's not listening. He is whistling as he walks away.
Yeah.
He like pinches the bridge of his nose and just keeps walking away.
Hey, this could be the start of something beautiful. Everyone, the classic good yapper, good listener combo.
Hey, look, every word needs to be heard, right?
So true.
Every yapper needs a brick wall.
A message from the government of Canada.
Oh my god, it's Wen Carly.
Kay will go find Liz.
Liz is just currently making her little group just start doing bump burpees like over here in this little corner of her tent. She's kind of just yelling at them. Just keeping an eye on them, and whenever like someone's like not doing them properly, she'll just give them a tap on the side and says, "Back in my day, we would actually get hit for not doing them properly." So, and I don't think there's any army protocol here in the forest, so you better start doing it properly before I start smacking you.
Kay considers whether or not he wants to talk to Liz anymore. He'll stand there for a moment and then eventually walk over.
Back in Liz's day, corporal punishment was more than just a suggestion.
Liz is just going to, like, after just berating, just like this poor survivor, she's just gonna back up and she's gonna just like back into Cade. Like, what the hell are you? Cade, how you doing? Sorry to bother you.
Sorry, I'm the one bothering you.
Oh no, you ain't bothering nobody. I'm just yelling at these guys. I'm just practicing my yelling voice.
Cade, you look over and you see one of the recruits just start puking.
What are you doing exactly to them?
I'm just giving them a bit of basic boot camp training. Just, in case the zombies or them fuckheads at the church decide to raid our camp, at least they have a couple of good fighters or something.
Cade looks over at the guy vomiting. Basic, huh?
You should see back when I was in training. There'd be at least like 10 more people doing that.
I assume because there'd be a lot more people.
No, that's actually pretty much... Actually, how many people am I training right now, Youth?
Let's see here. Let's make it a roll. 38.
Okay, that is actually a little... That's about above... That's actually above a squad, so yeah. Liz, like... Actually, that's actually a pretty good number, considering that a squad is usually about only 20 people.
Oh, okay. I'm not really familiar with all the, army stuff.
I'll get into tip-top shape. It's fine. It's a little bit... It's harsh at first, but people start getting used to the endurance.
Right.
Jenkins, I told you, I swear to God, if you do not get into a proper push-up position, I will be kicking your ass.
He just like looks at the guy she's talking to and then stares for a moment. And
You just see this one like kid who looks like he's never done a push-up in his life, just desperately trying to push himself up.
Yes, Carter, sir.
I don't know. Maybe,
Did you just fucking call me sir?
Ma'am! I mean, ma'am!
Maybe you could go a little easier on them. Maybe things as stressful as it is,
Don't worry. This is to get them worked up and aggressive, so that when we start fighting combat training, it's a little more easier for them to go out, you know?
Okay. Well, I hope I'm not interrupting your training or anything.
Oh,
but,
no, you are absolutely more than fine to come and visit.
But if I think we're all gonna go speak to Adwick.
Oh shit, are we? Alright, 1 second. Hazard!
Apparently.
You're in charge of the... Hazard, you're in charge of this group of numbnuts until I get back.
Yes,
I make
ma'am.
myself understood. Understood. Good shit. And this says, well, lead me to him then.
Okay. He'll. I wonder if we have to go get the others too. He'll go make his way towards where Hummingbird and Red would be.
Let's go follow.
Check. But you can
Hey,
mosey on over to Xavier and Alistair.
Yeah, Xavier, you go over to Alistair.
Alistair is not by the stables, and is instead celebrating another job well done with the people of the King Encampment.
He goes to the stable. It's like, shit. But he goes inside for a solid 5 minutes to say hi to Caledonia, anyways, and then he goes to find Alistair again.
Not hard to find him.
Yeah. Sees him and kind of, is there like much of a crowd or anything of the sort? Or is it just kind of like a...
I'm sure it's like a little like bonfire going on.
Ah, okay. Then he will kind of sidle. Well, frankly, I think he sees the group of people and gets intimidated. So what he'll do, I think. That's actually no. That is perhaps the funniest interpretation of this. He's gonna take Archie into his hands. He's gonna hold the bird, as one does with two hands, which is basically like a hamburger, and will just look soulfully into the bird's eyes, and it's just points at Alistair. Just see him. I need his attention, but I really don't want to go inside of this crowd. You think you can do this for me? Come on, just like you practiced. Just points towards the shoulder, just kind of goes ahead, puts out a couple seeds and whatnot. It's just, you know him. We had just talked too. Come on.
I'm thinking that this can end in many good ways and catastrophically in one very specific way.
Fly straight through a bonfire.
Surely a whole ass bird wouldn't do that. But you know what? Let's let the dice decide.
Yeah, you can roll me a survival. I'm gonna say, just because of the specifics, it's gonna be a -3. Just because, like, whether it gets the right thing, depending on the failure rate or success rate, I'll let you know what happens. But it's a -3, because, it's a little... The bird does not understand English.
This is bullshit.
Is there a way for... Can I just... I'll just...
The -1 and
So the
-2.
-1 and -2 on the global modifier.
I forgot addition exists. 6.
Okay, that's
Wait,
a success.
Yeah, it did. Okay, cool.
Yeah, put it on there.
Yeah.
So yeah, the bird kind of flutters over and lands on your shoulder, Alistair.
And because it is Xavier's bird, lands on your shoulder, coos, and then a quick whap on the face with the wing.
Morning to you too.
And will just continue to make loud purring noises, and you'll just see Xavier like scoot into the area that you're kind of like looking, like kind of looking at the bird, and he'll just give like a little wave. And then like,
Right.
a beckoning.
He'll take a swig from his flask as he stands up and dusts himself off. Well, it's been a great time enjoying the bonfire and another victory for us. Seems I'm being called again.
Just see everyone kind of raise their glasses as you figure some people got into your herbal alcohol. Oh, speaking of which, just so you guys note, I have put that into the items journals for now for purposes.
Ooh, thank you.
So the description of how herbal alcohol is in there.
Okay. Wait, where is it?
Is in items.
It is not. There's
Oh.
nothing there.
It's under the gear for the camp loot.
I don't see him. in the
Hold
camp,
up, I got it. Now it's in items.
Um,
I just didn't
okay.
share it with you guys. I created it.
No.
I'm just gonna.
Alistair will approach Xavier. I am assuming you're needing me.
Yep.
Well, what for?
we're- he like takes a moment. He's about to speak, and then he's just like, "Give me a sec," and we'll just go over to his shoulder and just remove the bird, and we'll just kind of ambiently give her pets as he explains. It's just like, they're Chadwick is calling us for another meeting. I didn't
Right.
exactly know how to get your attention without walking towards the bonfire with a bunch of people, so I thought that it might be a good lesson. And, well, I might just have the smartest pigeon in the world. And he just snuggles it.
Little do you know, that pigeon actually has a human brain implanted in it.
Yeah. He's snuggling it.
Well, at least you're friends with one of the 3 birds in our group.
Good one. Yeah, typically, that's usually not how that goes. But, not worrying too much about it. His happiness dies a little bit at that mention, but he seems to dust it off to varying effects.
Just gonna state though, with Alistair being Irish, the word bird that works in 3 different contexts, which makes me laugh.
Indeed.
Because Xavier only understands one of them. Alright. But, yeah. Let's get going.
Alistair will start heading on to the...
You, before they walk together, he's gonna point at the, was it a bottle that he was drinking from?
No, he has a metal flask he keeps on his person.
You finished with that?
Not particularly.
Just, Hummingbird just woke up and she might be a little bit ornery and,
Are
a
you,
little nervous.
are you wanting to take it, or you want her to drink it?
He just
Yes.
taps on his chest.
Here, don't finish it.
I won't. And he'll take a swig.
Well, what's in there out of curiosity, Alistair?
Oh, just whiskey.
Okay.
Battery acid.
I feel like only one of those answers given were viable.
Battery acid.
This is
piss.
always viable.
Piss from someone whose diet consists of only battery acid.
Mm.
We have plenty of battery acid around in these car parts.
Let's go.
Just because it's shits and giggles, roll me a vigor check, Xavier.
Understood.
As I doubt Xavier's used to day drinking. Okay, you don't end up coughing or hacking. You're good.
He may not be used to day drinking, but he's used to taste testing several fermented things, some of which produce alcohol.
I can't believe I have the innate Scottish trait of capable day drinker.
Yes, you do.
That's
I mean,
just a feature in one of your edges or hindrances.
look, I was gonna make you roll for what your character obviously does regularly. You don't have to worry about it till you get the medical stuff. Then you gotta worry about your rolls.
Yeah. Yeah, they're just. He it burns a little bit going down, but he doesn't cough or anything. He just kind of shimmies himself, and it's just the good courage. All right, thanks.
Don't worry, Alistair. Liver failure doesn't happen until you're in your mid-40s at least. You'll be fine.
I'll die far before then.
Exactly.
Someone like Alistair would say liver failure is only for those who've lived.
Liver failure is only for those who believe in failure.
So true!
I would join AA, but I don't want to be a quitter.
Alistair will open. Is it a door or is it like curtains?
It's a pavilion, right? So it's not a door,
Yeah.
it'd be curtains. Like it's basically a circus style tent.
Yeah, he'll duck in. Morning.
Oh, very good. Totally good. Before we do that, let's cut back over to Cade picking up the last two.
Are they... What are they doing? When he makes his way over there?
Harrinan brought them both back breakfast, so she's probably just sitting back watching them while she eats.
Hummingbird is like eating with her hands and being like, "Oh, can you see, Timmy? Like I did this, and like this
Eating
is over
soup
here."
Eating soup with your hands?
That's entirely no. I still feel like that's entirely accurate.
What I imagine what's happening is she's making Timmy hold the bowl so she can sip out of it when she's in the middle of doing
You know,
stuff.
actually, that makes a lot of sense. Timmy's holding the bowl of soup for her.
Just
and
as a
she's
funnel.
That's how he's helping.
Yeah, she's just got a straw.
It's like, so you see, Timmy, it's like this is here, and I organized this, and I attached this to it, and she's like pointing it all out, and like occasionally taking a spoonful of soup or a strawful.
Hey, I'm not interrupting anything, am I?
Just turning the lights on. He like stands
should
back and takes a look at the work.
Should I wait?
That's at this point,
do you know
Hummingbird, you
what-
would have finished up, so.
You know whose blood was on this generator?
Probably whoever was in the back. Maybe Xavier's.
She like wipes her hands on her pan.
God.
Damn, she hates Hispanics.
What's that
Just the one.
Audio? Let's see.
So, well, I think we're all gathering to meet Chadwick if you two are free.
What do you say, Red? Do you want to head over?
Yeah, I guess.
And yeah, I guess we're free.
Okay.
She leaves her bowl.
Just like on half on Eden.
Hummingbird
half
leaves
eaten.
hers. Hummingbird leaves hers with Timmy. Just
Yeah, Timmy, you can deal with this, right?
Okay.
There you go, good boy.
thanks, Timmy. And she like smiles at him.
Okay.
Definitely a little patronizing.
You just see Timmy not understanding the patronization. He's not used to having women smile at him in general.
They've recruited a slave. Crazy.
You do it in one game, you gotta do it in another.
This is a great time to remind everybody what Timmy's skin color is.
Yeah, I was about to say. I was like,
Where I bought a girl in our Friday game.
A PC. Don't worry, it was a PC.
Yeah, we had a whole issue where it's like, did you just like do a slave trade?
Hear me out. For
Hate it when that
25
happens.
gold, I couldn't afford to not buy a girl.
Especially one in a chicken costume.
It was a steal, really. Where else can you get a girl for 25 gold?
That was one clucking deal.
I don't know, man. I think if someone approached me and gave me any gold, you know, I'm not going to continue this line of thought. Carry on.
Basically, it was Kat's character, and she was like being punished by her waitressing job by being forced to wear a chicken costume, and my character was like, "How much do I need to pay you to make you quit right now?"
God, I love the whole ass menu for that game.
Yeah, it was great.
Okay. Anyway, so we
Anyways,
make
yes,
our
back-
way over.
Yeah, yeah.
Sorry.
So back to the tent. You guys find the party has now gathered. As you see Sir Chadwick at the tent with Master Shi and Amber. Ah, good sirs. I see you've finally arrived at the tent and all that. Jolly good. Yes, Chad. So how are you all doing?
Fine enough. Curious what this little whatever you got going on for us might be.
Well, while you guys were out rescuing my grandfather, hello, he says, waving at you. You can see he's a little staggery. He looks like he's probably been he probably didn't sleep last night. And he probably just drank last night, is what you're gathering.
My man.
Hi, Master Sheen.
Oh, hello, Xavier. Good to see you again. And he proffers his gourd to you.
Fuck. Xavier doesn't. I'm gonna do a quick roll. Just I don't know. Would a spirit roll work? I'm doing a willpower thing.
Yeah, well, spirit is generally the
Sure,
equivalent of
Jay.
willpower in this game. That's how you avoid fear and shit.
If he succeeds, he doesn't buy into the peer pressure of accepting a gift. Ah, but Southern Hospitality discount. Oh no!
I mean, you can give yourself minuses to account.
True. Oh my god. He actually passed! I gave myself a -2.
Ah,
He just... For a moment, his hand twitches, and he just lightly raises a forward-facing palm, and he's just... No thank you, but I seriously appreciate it.
very good. More for me. He just starts fucking chugging again. And just look over at Amber shaking her head. Well, in any case, well, you were out rescuing my grandfather. She says, and she just crosses her arms and taps her foot, looking at him. We were able to send out a scouting party a bit to see what was going on a bit with the power station. We didn't gather much information, but it looks like someone has taken it over.
Someone is taking it over? Do we know who it is?
Unfortunately, the group we sent weren't exactly the most skilled for that sort of thing, so... They weren't able to gather a lot of information, and unfortunately one of them was lost in the trip as well, on top of things. Zombies seem to be swarming the area rather heavily.
Sounds like a rescue mission is afoot. Or are we trying to take over this power state? What is that?
Sorry, do you not know what the power station is?
Shakes his head.
The place where all the electricity is sorted out for the city. The grid?
The station full of power.
It took me until I was about 10 before my town installed lights that weren't lanterns and the sort.
My
Where
god.
the hell have you been living?
As the locals say, under a rock.
Was that a town, or... Like, what's your definition? Yeah.
I guess it was more akin to a village.
Might have been a hamlet.
I don't know. I think there were about 100 of us.
I think it was raccoons.
Huh, no, but I did. Never mind.
Do we have any information whatsoever, or do we just don't have anything to go on?
As I said, all we know for certain is it looks like the place was taken over, and it seems to be a large swarm of zombies in front of it. Of course, we could just ignore the situation. With your power generator you gave us, it's not really an issue for us specifically.
It is an issue, though, if depending on who has the power source.
That's true. Other option, of course, being is that unless we could probably see about making more allies. So, if you want to perhaps visit one of the groups we have yet to meet up with and see if we can gain more support.
I think the only other group that could possibly help is maybe the NYPD, but I looks over towards.
Well, no,
It looks like we just ate a lemon.
Well,
no.
Honestly, Xavier too.
I mean,
Okay, well,
with the world breaking down,
Hummingbird
perhaps.
pushes up.
Go.
Hummingbird pushes up the tip of her nose and does an oink.
Yes, I can see what you mean.
Pretty accurate. Well, I imagine they aren't actively looking for warrants to arrest people at the moment.
That is true.
I mean, the fact is there would be at least, at the very least, a fellow militant arm to work with.
I don't think, at least the mob or the prisoners would be good bets.
Well,
I don't know that much about the bikers, but
Plus, it would give us a security over a full half of one part of Brooklyn, at the very least.
from what we understand, at least from our limited contact with the general back, or the captain back at the army base, from the information they were gave us, the prisoners unknown is a complete unknown factor, though they seem to be well organized is the worst part. Though whether that's good or bad, I guess it depends whether or not they'll. Well, the prisoners, the odds that they're altruistic's probably not the best.
If they're in charge of anybody over the age of 50, we can just send Liz in and they'll be on our side in a month, in a day.
Ew.
Seems to be working so far.
The bikers, on the other hand, seem to be a bit more free-spirited. At the moment, they don't seem to be causing too much trouble, but hard to say, really. And obviously, the mobsters, well, at least they're organized and have a power structure. Though, as you said, any help with them might have strings attached.
I've had a few run-ins with them before. Then, like you said, strings attached and all that.
Is it a reliable power structure? I imagine with the mob, it's in more like a pack of animals ready to jump on each other at a moment of weakness.
Maybe. The Dawn that's in charge at the moment apparently has a firm grip on everyone. Plus, to believe it or not, the movies aren't quite accurate. The mob, at least with a higher ups are concerned, the top boss tends to be, well, the top boss, let's say. Yeah, there's a lot of respect there. The bikers, on the other hand, they're more likely to be the ones that might smash each other apart at a whim.
No, they may make a useful ally if we can make sure they are like that.
They're really far away, though, is the problem.
Yeah, but I imagine they also got the only reliable transport across the city. At least on a wider scale.
Well, to be fair, Don Gambon, yeah, he's an alright man. As the grandfather speaks up.
Ah, shit. Did my uncle have any dealings with him?
Dude, it's the mob in New York. Do you think they have no ties to the political houses in the country?
Ah, shit, they know my
We'd
name.
never be corrupted.
Yeah, it's not like the mayors of New York never have any dealing with the mob at any point.
Good thing laws and politics are an intrinsically pure force.
Yeah.
in society.
Exactly.
Yeah, your case, Alistair, you probably heard of Don. You wouldn't have heard of Don Gamboni. Or Bino, not Boni. Gambino. He does keep a tight ship, but when under his control for the most part, the mob's been keeping was originally keeping more to white collar crimes, though you do hear about the occasional loan shark leg breaking incident. The other thing you would also note that he actually kind of took over fairly recently and kind of combined all the mobs back into one major mob.
Power player.
He seems that he's competent in what he's doing. So, as far as I can see it, it seems like we're a definite no on the prisoners and the bikers as of now. Everyone in agreeance?
I'd say about so, yeah.
Worked for me.
And a firm no about the NYPD, and a tentative yes, a tentative no, a maybe with the mob.
I'd lean towards no. I don't really want to deal with them, to be honest.
Which?
Which one are you specifying?
The mob.
And we've got a fair few people who don't want to deal with the NYPD. So,
I guess
So,
it's sort of a toss-up between people who know they ain't righteous and people who like to pretend they are.
maybe we just deal with the power station and maybe one of the other three factions we've made tentative allies with could, like, give us something down the line. Unless we want to go right all the way to the bikers, but I feel like everyone's not really in a...
I imagine
Wanted
it's
to
also
do
pretty dangerous because we're driving between at least two factions who are warring with each other.
Yeah.
Or you
And
go
I'm
right
not-
through mob territory.
Yeah, that's a wonderful idea. Toll road, every road.
Toll rolled every house.
So, the only thing I'm worried about is if we get the power on for our section, who's to say we ain't become big shiny targets for every malevolent force out there?
Guess that means that we ought to be so, I don't know, big and intimidating that even if we did have a large target on our backs, they probably would be... Mind you, I know nothing about this whole alliance stuff, but the way I see it, it don't matter if we stand out if we're big enough that we can face anything that tries to come after us. Or at the very least make ourselves look big.
Out of all the factions here, I think we're the one that would probably be taken the least seriously.
As he looks about, you just see a bunch of people banging swords and shields together.
It would be really intimidating if we were invading any country from the
Birthday party.
A birthday party? Maybe. They still got water guns. They are rangers. But it seems like the situation is developing to the north to a point where we're going to have to pick a side one time or another.
Yeah, I mean, even with my own personal apprehension with the NYPD and whatnot, the way I see it, if we can find another force that we benefit one another and, I don't know, they aren't liable to implode or cause interpersonal conflicts, I don't see why we shouldn't go after them.
Well, that's the way to put it. I'm sorry.
Couldn't think of a reason.
What was that?
I can think of a reason.
Well, regardless of the situation, finding allies still might be important. Like you say, the army's with us right now, but they keep their hands full with the Church of Rapture at the moment. We can send troops over to Sis, but we're not going to be much help in a gunfight, as you could gather.
That's why I'm training them up right now, to at least like, get them ready in case they can start training.
No.
Maybe you should get one of the books of the 1800s tactics where they walk in a line and get shot.
You mean talking volley shots?
Yeah, except we don't have anything, so just discipline to keep them in line.
So you want them to learn
No,
military square tactics?
Well, I mean,
Trench warfare may actually not be a bad option, not gonna lie.
in
We
a
trench
city,
around. Yes, a little bit, yes, actually. We trench
better
around
off-
we can at least set up patrols, that way we can keep an eye out for any people that came crossing around the Staten Island.
we're better off teaching them guerrilla tactics. The only thing we've got, really. But we'll worry about that another time. We need to figure out who we're talking to.
Yes, because, again, with the army keeping the Church of Rapture at least contained at the moment, though, they've just pointed out that who knows how many outside influences they get. The big issue we have is if they get... Let's put it this way. The mob and the Church of Rapture are the only two... and the bikers are the two places that can get outside reinforcements from the city if they do get any. The rest of us, we're stuck on the other side.
Wait, say that again? I didn't...
Okay, so basically, the Staten Island and Manhattan, they're the places attached to the mainland the closest, while you guys are off in the ocean. So if there's going to be support coming from the rest of America, it's going to have to go through those two places first, or the bikers, Brooklyn as well. Right, so these three spots get the reinforcements if there are outside reinforcements. Right? What the army is pointing out is that if the Church of Rapture is somehow bigger than just Staten Island, and they're able to unite other areas of the country to them, there's a danger they might get reinforcements from other states, in other words. Right? And there's no way to block off the reinforcements because they're the ones in that area. Meanwhile, the army's reinforcements could only be airdropped or coming through boat. Luckily, you do have a deal with the Mariners, so that's something you can work with. Though, as you point out, the Mariners are kind of split, aren't one solid group as much as a bunch of individuals working together. You still have Argus, who has the airport. But as you figure, they're more interested in gathering zombies than any sort of military dominance of New York.
It's a little shifty.
Yeah. Some of you know why. Because you've played the previous one-shot.
So I guess we should put it up to a vote. If everyone's got their sense in.
I'm for dealing with the power station. At least we don't have to deal with rushing who to help or ally with.
We got anyone else for the power station?
Maybe we should just like make a list of all the things we need to vote for. So power station.
I think it's just power station or one of the other four.
Mob or the NYPD.
Well, there's power station, there's the mob, or you can always do supply runs. As I pointed out, they are always needing more food and stuff for the place because you're still feeding thousands of people a day here. Great. If you want a big, so the big things are you can either get a power station or see about making more allies from one of the other factions. The other thing you can do is gather resources, always important. As I said, there are thousands of people to be fed every day. They do send out other scouting parties to do that as well, though people don't always make it back because they're not fucking aces, so one hit kills them. And apart from that, you guys could see about going down and even meeting one of your previous alliances to see if they might have anything for you.
Well, we have the radio connection to them, so
Yes.
we wouldn't even need to go down there to do that.
No, you could see about radioing the Mariners or the Army to figure out if they have anything, or Argus.
Well, I suppose before we finish up the votes, do you want to see if the radio has anything to say for us?
I'm inclined to see if they have anything.
Yeah.
Don't we also got some kind of direct connection to Argus too?
Pretty sure we do.
Yeah, they did
a
give
number.
Yeah, they did give you a station to they did give you a way to contact them. So, you know, if you had any special more zombies to sell them.
But if we contact Argus, I would like to.
Really? Oh. Well, I guess I'll hop on the radio and reach out to the armies and the mariners, see if they got anything.
All right.
Okay, who do you want to call first?
I'll reach out to the army first.
Yeah, probably wouldn't be a bad idea.
Okay, you get on the radio to contact the Army. After a couple of minutes pass, you are able to get a hold of the Army base, where you once again are listening to the captains, like, as Commander Neil answers the radio. Hello, this is Lopez.
Did we tell him about the generator?
The hell did you call us? Or the encampment? Commander Neil, you need anything from us so far?
At the moment, our military concerns are being handled. We are still able to keep the Church of Rapture under control. The food you have supplied us has been sufficient.
Any particular issues that you might need some third party to reach out and help with?
You know, if you can make contact with the NYPD, they could be useful. They could support our numbers.
He's gonna look back at the group. Noted. I'll see what we can do.
Okay, Commander Neil, over and
Yeah.
out.
As much as I hate to admit it, the NYPD are firearm trained. And
Fucking way.
I think the fuck not.
I sure do love the cohesiveness of y'all.
I gotta say, I kind of also agree with Miss Carter. Is there any reason we're staying away from?
I'm not a big fan of them myself, but
Me neither.
they
Liz, I
are
don't
the...
think I've met a single person you're a fan of.
I'm a big fan of the crew of MASH. And
You
Fraser.
would be. You
Oh,
fucking would be.
No, it's not my it's not my fault that I like good TV.
Yeah, my grandmother likes those shows too. You remind me of her.
Well, and she has good taste then.
I'm gonna reach out to the Admiral.
Alright.
Okay,
What is it?
your next thing is you call the Admiral, as he has a... Oh, yes, this is the Lob Group, correct?
God damn it. Yeah, this is the encampment.
Oh, gentlemen,
Y'all,
Admiral Comrade here. Yes, what is it you wish?
just seeing if y'all need anything at the time being, more than the agreement already settled on.
Well, I suppose we could, in fact, use an area. We've discovered that there is a large vessel that has been docked at port for a bit, but we fear it's been overrun by the undead. If you wish to clear it out so we can get our sailors on there to increase our odds of shipping people out of the city, that could be proven useful.
How large is a large vessel and how overrun is overrun?
It's a yacht. Overrun could mean lots. We don't know. We don't have enough troops to send in to be securing it. But it is a yacht. A mega yacht, in fact.
Does it have fucking Mackenbeard stenciled on the side?
It's a big boat. It could easily fit a few hundred people. It'd be tight, but you get hundreds on there.
We'll keep it in mind if we get a chance to. We might not have the manpower to go do it ourselves.
No worry, it is there's not much of a time restraint on it unless the zombies learn to sail, and if that happens, we're all fucked.
I'm inclined to agree with you on that one. Well, safe sailing.
Oh, thank you, sir.
Well, you wanted to reach out to the Argus group?
Yeah, what exactly am I supposed to say to them?
Asking if they have any tasks for us to do if they need them. If not, then we'll go back to figuring out what we're doing.
Right. Hand me the radio, Leprechaun.
Yeah. Here. If they call us the fucking LARP group again, I'm gonna have words.
I mean, they haven't run into the LARP group. They only ran into us, so...
You
Wouldn't
might
make
want to
sense,
start preparing what you're gonna say then.
I'm laughing. This is gonna be really cringe, but it'll be funny.
Okay, you call the radio and you hear an unknown voice respond. Hello, who's on this private frequency?
I like to. What was his name? Craig.
It was Craig.
It was Craig, right? The man. Me.
Oh yeah. It was. Let me double check that. I did list his name. Yeah, it was.
I like twirl her hair around her finger. And she'd say, I'd like to speak to Craig, please.
What the? God damn it. Did you hear just like mumbling and swearing in the background for a second? Followed by, get your fucking ass over here, Craig! And you hear like, God damn it, this is not a booty call line!
Beautiful.
Yeah. Just shut the fuck up, man. Shut the fuck up.
I could stifle laughter from Xavier.
Okay, just hear up.
She's like, she's got this mischievous grin on her face, like.
And just like in his overly confident voice here, guy like, hello, this is Craig.
Hey, handsome.
Well, my word, this is that hummingbird lass I saw, isn't it?
It is. We were wondering if you guys, other than the funny fancy zombies, if you guys had anything that you needed done. We're on a good deeds mission, as it turns out.
If you're looking to help assist again to get some points with us, we have records of another special sighted. Did you guys ever say where you were from?
Nope.
Nope.
We did not.
Yeah, I was about to say, I don't think you mentioned where you're from. Well, we did have sightings of another special down by the, let's see, East New York.
Okay. Do you know anything about this special?
Reports aren't too clear on what they're about. Though apparently we had found people who were torn asunder without knowing what happened. Looked like giant claw marks on their backs.
Ooh, that sounds exciting.
If you can bring one of them to us, then we will of course reward you and see about giving you some payment or any sort of deal you'd like to make.
Perfect. I'll let you know how it goes.
Yeah, sounds good. Can't wait to see you again.
See you soon. She'll hand back the radio to Alistair with like a satisfied smile.
Enjoy yourself.
Yeah, I had a great time.
So I guess it gives us two other things we can look into. A boat or something that seems to eviscerate things without people knowing.
Ambush hunter, perhaps?
I'm thinking like a giant crab. Fuck, wrong accent. I was thinking like a giant crab.
Crap.
Yeah.
You would know if a giant crab snuck behind you.
You know, this is one of the things I feel like entertainment. How so do you think it's a crab?
Crabs have claws.
You are incredibly right. Call him back and let him know it's a crab that killed his men.
I won't do. She's laughing like she's not serious, but like it's so funny.
So we can go get ambushed, or we can go try to talk to one of the other groups and maybe get ambushed, or we can go figure out what's going on with that super yacht.
I mean,
I feel like whispers in like hummingbirds are. Do you think they'll give us more Pokemon plushies if we get their yacht?
Hummingbird like excitedly nods yes. I like that idea.
I'm voting for the yacht.
I'm with her.
All right. Anyone else voting for that?
I'm just really not sure how we would really capture a giant zombie crab, so I'm in favor of doing a bit of wet work.
no, I guess we're running with that idea. I mean, I wouldn't be too, I lived in it with words. I lived in an area with a couple of mountain lions. I'm familiar with the game of ambush. I wouldn't be against it, but if the yacht is something that we're trying to do, then I mean, we can go for it.
What's
Just
a mountain lion
saying,
got to do with this? We're looking for a crab.
Hummingbird smiles at Alistair.
It's not even claws. It's not important.
Crabs have claws.
They're pincers.
Claws. And she like
There's
does
no fucking
does
difference.
I wouldn't get into an argument about animal biology with Xavier, I'll be honest. No matter how many birds you're named after.
Xavier's is very much like only slightly annoyed because he knows that he shouldn't care. But
His caring is the only thing causing it to get worse.
it's like someone gets a minor fact wrong about your favorite character.
So that sounds
It's
like
not even wrong. Claws and pincers are used interchangeably,
And yet
especially
are
for crabs.
functionally different.
The problem is there's more than one type of claw.
And very, very much.
so. That's two to go get the yacht. One, unless Cade, you want to change your vote? All right, we only get the one.
I say we go after the yacht. I'm not exactly excited to risk my life for more crazy, weird zombies. So
Yeah. Plus, we do need to get the Mariners on our side a bit more if we're going to start evacuating the city.
Agreed.
I'm fine with whichever of those options.
Well, it sounds like the majority is decided then. That's a lot of zombies, it sounds like.
Probably a yacht full's worth if I was going to guess.
Well, I hope it weren't two yachtfuls.
Well, considering the average party yacht from what my from my youth recalled was, they fit between 50 and 100 people for a party.
On a yacht that size, it's probably going to be closer to 250.
Yeah, probably if it's a super yacht, like he said. It's not yours, is it, Grandpa? No. My yacht sank many days ago. Oh, good party! He said, taking a swig from his
Right
booze.
on, Grandpa.
I was just going to give him like a nod of respect.
Oh, I should not have rammed it into the ducks when drinking.
I don't think there's a better way you could... I'm not sure there's a better way you could have done it.
By the way, actually, you guys heard that on the news, that there was a yacht that smashed into the docks and sank in the fucking thing a few months back?
Good for him.
She's just a total, like, rich, I fucking party every day, get fucked up kind of guy.
Yeah, it pretty much is, yeah.
You just see, like, one of those, montages of, like, photos of people at a party, and it's just him getting fucking lit the fuck up.
You just see him breakdance.
It's like all those pictures, like the billionaires with like the tons of models on his boat. Well, I'm not sure if we can do it with just us. It might be prudent to bring along a couple of the people that are semi-combat ready, please.
What was that? You kind of cut it there for me for a second.
There ain't many of us. I'm not sure we can clear out a whole boat full of zombies with just us. It might be prudent to bring along a few of the more combat-capable ones you've been training.
Maybe, but I haven't trained them any of them with firearm training quite yet. It's mostly just endurance training right now.
Trying to get some of them off?
Sorry.
No reason to fight more than we have to. Just make some run off and then pull the boat away.
That's one thing is that we just do a bit of kiting tactics where you engage, fire, run away, engage, fire, run away. As long as we don't get surrounded, it should be not too difficult. Unless there's some kind
The
of
others at the
special-
dock for a while, but if we just honk something real loud and then let them all swarm to that, they probably won't all coil back onto the yacht for a while.
Well, the yacht's got a bunch of underlevels too, as well as overlevels that zombies are probably going to be stuck in. And I ain't too keen on going door to door with zombies and not wearing chainmail.
So for the sakes of mechanics, guys, you are allowed to take troops with you from the faction to help cut down the massive numbers you'd be facing. You'll have to face your own lot separately like a D&D campaign, but you are in the correct territory where you can take troops with you to help clear out numbers for these kind of things.
So we can clear out as many as we want off the deck. I imagine we just get them to fall into the sound or whatever. I'd clear the deck and it'd allow us to get on board quite easily. But as I said, you're going through hotel rooms that might or might not be full of zombies.
At least that's probably gonna get half of them out. Better than before.
Yeah, I still think we're going to need to bring a few extra people with us.
Alright. We can at least bring Chadwick. I think he's more than capable.
I'd imagine so. Chadwick, do you have any other knights who were near as capable as you in the jousting tournament?
Unfortunately, my old competitor did not survive the assault.
He's the only one trained in fucking weapons.
Well, he's the most competent. A lot of the HEMA people didn't survive the original fight, from what I hear. Amber says, speaking up. Chad's a bit of an exception. He had his armor on during the battle, while the others were caught unaware. Only him and his opponent actually were ready during the fight. Eric, though, unfortunately passed a few weeks. From what I understand, Eric died a while back.
Oh, man.
Damn. R.A.P. Eric.
Don't worry, it's the one that's spelled correctly.
Oh, I hate my dad.
Fuck him.
Don't.
Yeah, that's reserved for me.
God damn it.
It's reserved for Zach, actually.
True. Anyway.
But
oh my
yes,
dad's name is Eric. Like that's
That's
sounds
canon,
right?
correctly even.
That's canon.
I
That is
apologize.
canon.
That's a horrible fate.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. He looks like an Eric too. I don't know how to describe that.
No, you're right. No, Eric's have a certain phenotype.
For sure.
Anyway.
anyways, so if you guys want to take troops with you, you can. That will help definitely cut down the numbers drastically, though you will take losses. That's a guarantee. Because again,
Let's go.
they're not fucking.
More food for us.
Yeah, they're not. They're not going to be aces, so they're one-hit deaths.
Liz, I
And
don't
none of
imagine...
you, unfortunately, have battle tactics at the moment to help lead the troops to decrease the odds of casualties.
Does Chadwick?
Yes, Chadwick actually has battle smarts.
Then maybe we leave him with the group and we
He
clear
can
the
be the
boat.
commander of the Knights Gallant.
Yeah.
Well, Chadwick, you'll be leading the men-at-arms, I suppose.
I can take my soldiers and see what we can do for the battle. Indeed.
Well, I guess it's settled. I'm not quite sure exactly how we're all going to get there.
Yeah, there's your second problem.
We got the one van. Amber, do we have any others that run?
No, we have other vehicles, of course.
Any reinforced?
Not particularly at the moment. We don't exactly have welding tools here.
Why couldn't we have gotten stuck at a welder's convention?
I mean, if you feel like that's a good idea, you could go do some supply runs and pick that sort of thing up.
The boat ain't going nowhere.
I do believe the Admiral said that it's fine as long as the zombies don't lend a sail.
Well, apparently they started to turn into crabs, so we might need to be careful of that one.
My word! Zombie crab necromancer! The foul necromancer deadly has created vile magic.
No, Chadwick, it was a joke. It was a joke.
Alistair is
Well,
grinning in
We're
disbelief.
deadly serious.
Like a heart attack, but more serious.
My word! The armor upon them must be vicious! I should probably bring my warhammer.
They've got dirty shells on their claws. He's just looking at Xavier.
Looking at the ground.
Maybe the guy on the radio said it wrong. They got torn apart by pincers. There's a food for thought.
Same thing. Oh, I could use some crab legs.
Well, there's a whole polluted channel down to the south of us, and to the west of us. And if you look east, you'll find more.
Surprising.
Well, Liz, you know how to drive. Anyone else know how to drive?
I mean, if this sounds like too problematic a venture, I mean, it was already mentioned that we could afford to go on some food runs.
I
I mean,
feel
the
like
army right now said that they are in decent supply. They might just
No,
need
us.
supply run later.
Us. We do
Oh.
got a solid 1,000 or so people here.
but we've got people for that. We need.
We need crabs.
We need to increase our standing amongst the other factions around us. We can stay as full as we want, but if there's another 1,000 people kicking down our doors with guns, we ain't going to be able to do much to stop them.
Well, I know, but I don't think none of this is oh so urgent. Making sure that we're alive by the time those 1,000 people come around is also pretty important. I'm just saying, since you seemed to think that it might be a bit too dangerous to go after this whole yacht.
Well, to be fair, no matter what you choose, there's going to be a lot of danger involved. Well, in apocalypse of zombies.
True.
Apocalypse of students, according to some.
It's all cost and benefit, cause and effect.
Supply runs are still always dangerous.
Indeed. The least thing, here's if you'd like my opinion on what's going on. Pros and cons. I know you against the NYPD. Looks over at Crane and Hummingbird. But like they said...
Crane.
Or Crane, I may have wrong bird.
I mean, you know...
Hummingbird and I meant Heron. Too many birds in my games.
Hey, long neck bird, you still got there somewhere.
In the vicinity.
She's the other sister. We don't talk about her.
So true.
But yeah, Heron and
We just got a family of bird names.
with Hummingbird and Heron, you guys know. She goes, with the NYPD, we could be able to support the army. That might help take care of the Church of Rapture and give trained men with guns who are at least accustomed to some sort of organizational combat. I know you're averse to them for your reasons, and I understand, but I somehow doubt the worst of it is the case. I imagine the worst of the cops are probably with the Church of Rapture right now, to be honest.
That is actually pretty true, and the army doesn't tend to stand for, tends to beat the shit out of people that are assholes if they don't follow orders.
Well, I'll be honest. Isn't the worst of the cops going to the Church of Rapture not particularly good when we're trying to get them to go along with a few fugitives?
Actually,
again,
not.
Actually, you'd be surprised. It's more like the other way around.
Again, ain't nobody trying to hand out arrest warrants.
Yes, again.
I think we have a bit more of a worrying issues
they
right
just
now.
fucking shoot first.
Well, they
Again,
don't
That's what
tend to-
all cops do.
As I said, it's an option, but if we want troops to support the army, NYPD is our best bet. On the other hand, the yacht is a good support for getting our people out of the city if necessary. It's an escape route. If things break down here, we can get our people to the yacht and escape the city that way. So if we get in a bad situation, the yacht gives us a place to at least get a good portion of the people out of here. Obviously, helping this Argus has different benefits I'm unaware of, but I'm certain they'll be at least able to support us in some way. I hope. I have no idea what they're up to or what these special zombies are. They sound terrifying. But it could be worse. But that's how I look at the 3 side missions, and obviously the power plant gives us some sort of control over what's going on with the energy in the city. But we're luckily sufficient without, especially now that you have the generator to keep the lights on in this park, so that affects us less.
I think as far as our best options, as far as bang for buck, as some of you Americans say, is talking with the mob about possibly opening up something. I know you don't like it, Cade. Or going to deal with the yacht. Because the only thing we got out of doing the last thing for Argus was what?
Basically, you opened up Argus's relations so you can get stuff from them. So, meta-wise, and the reason I didn't mention it as her is because she doesn't know, Argus can give you guys equipment. Right? 'Cause remember, they've got planes, so if you're looking like for missile launchers and shit like that, Argus is a good place to make points with. Right? Basically, Argus will get you heavy equipment.
Red with a rocket launcher.
Army bonuses with the army. basically the army bonuses. So I'll give you the meta for everything. The army bonuses will keep the Church of Rapture at bay longer. Great, because again, they can only hold out for so long without support. Bonuses with the Mariners, like I say, 1 gives you gives you easier supply routes from the ocean, and 2 gives you an escape route if shit goes wrong. That's what the yacht will give you. Going to
And
the
potentially-
Hmm?
Oops, sorry. And potentially maybe fish supply for food,
yeah, that's what I
guess?
said. That's what I said. Like supplies for food and such from the ocean. Like basically, because the Mariners can do fishing, you guys have a steady stream of protein coming from them. Right? That you don't have to worry about going bad because you can always catch more fish. You don't know what you get from the mobs, prisoners, NYT, or bikers because you haven't met them yet. So you don't get the meta for them because you haven't made contact with any of them yet.
I think also if we do plan on controlling the power station, it's a very good point of kind of getting favors from other factions if they choose to not, just attack us instead. But
Makes sense, and with that line of logic, the Mariners probably have the least force projection on land.
basically, I believe the power station's a good point of contention for holding it for, not just electrical power, but actual faction power, I suppose.
Influence?
Yeah. But it is something that I feel like all the other factions would try to go after if they don't have it already.
Yeah, I imagine what ends up happening is we get it fixed, and within a week somebody else is leaving off our hard work.
It's likely unless we can get other factions to help support us. Keep it under our collective control, sort of thing.
If we take the power station, in that case, you're correct. We probably at least have to guard it with troops and such.
So, I feel like if we want to take the power station, maybe we get into contact with one more faction, and at least we have the backing of 3, maybe 4 factions to hold it.
I will point out, Argus is not a faction that will support.
Fair.
Because there's just
3,
not enough
2,
of them.
maybe
Yeah,
3.
yeah. And you guys would be aware that Argus doesn't have the numbers to support you, right? You've only seen the dozens of them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, like you
They
know,
just have the heavy equipment.
yeah, they
and
have the
our
heavy equipment
approach.
they can spare. The army can't spare theirs because they need it, but the Argus has flight, so they can come in and out with equipment for you guys. And I would say meta-wise, they probably would have mentioned that to you as payment last time you talked to them, despite the fact that I forgot to mention that.
Yeah.
But if you're looking for things like missile launchers and shit like that, that's Argus.
Well, in all our discussion, we've gotten no further to a goal.
Like I said, I think I agree with taking the yacht. It's a good escape route. Get us a bit more with the Mariners, and
Like they say, the Mariners can hold it once we clear it out.
And the better friends we make with them, the more people they'll send to help us with the power station later.
yeah, they probably have people they can actually spare, unlike the army. And I haven't really seen that many people when we went to go scout out Argus, so
Well, I imagine if numbers are a thing, it's almost certain that the prisoners are going to be the most numerous faction, aside from us.
You gather the biggest numbers would either be mob prisoner. Basically, the northern factions could all be more numerous than you guys. Just because
or maybe the
one,
Charge.
Hmm?
Or maybe the Charge.
the church is actually the most numerous faction from what you gathered.
Okay.
Let's go.
That's why
Only
they are
racist in New York.
Let's all be racists.
like
Actually,
the-
getting Argus on our side could help, since we could probably get some of the supplies from Argus to give to the army to maybe blow up a couple of their bases.
Again,
Yeah,
Argus will be good for
bombard
getting
them.
you heavy gear and heavy equipment, right? They won't give you enough to troop out an army, but enough to troop you guys out at least. Which could help you take things, right? Like, for example, with the power station, if you're in a fight, having heavy gear in the power station could help depending on what you're facing in there. Right? Obviously,
you
too,
could
if
just
you-
threaten.
Hmm?
You could just threaten them with a rocket launcher, and they'll probably be willing to at least listen.
yeah,
It's a good point.
right? Also,
Good
with the things
idea.
with the heavy
You could blow up
armory,
the power station.
again, with heavy armory, other missions might become easier because you can clear out more zombies with AoE weaponry, right? Which is what you guys are
Yeah,
severely lacking.
If we have to
Bill
fight
was
off
capable
against
of it.
giant enemy crabs, we could at least like blow them up with rocket launchers.
Yeah. Of course, for them,
Maybe
you got-
with. Go ahead.
We just have to face one
Again,
without.
meta-wise, when you start capturing the specials for them, they will basically trade the specials for gear you may wish to have. It's not an infinite amount of gear, like you'll have to keep getting more specials to keep getting
Yeah.
more gear, and ammo's not free either, but it's a way to get that gear that you would otherwise be unwilling to get normally in a city. Right? Military grade gear that you don't have to go raiding the military for.
I feel like we've spent. Go ahead.
Oh, it is possible to get some of that gear from the army, but you're going to have to raise your... You definitely have to raise your favor with the army. It's also possible to get some of the lighter gear from the police as well, and maybe the mob.
The thing I'm thinking about is the mob probably has like a ton of miscellaneous gear and equipment that we could just be like, hey, let's trade for this.
Yeah, they won't have a lot of the top, like, military gear, though. It's like, mobsters don't generally carry around rocket launchers, for
No.
example.
But I mean, small arms, I'm sure they have plenty of.
Oh yeah, you probably have tons of small arms. You figure that's why they probably own all of Manhattan. Also why you figure they're one of the larger groups. New York, NYPD, you figure is one of the larger groups as well because, again, it's not just the cops. That's just who's in control. You gather there's lots of civilians in there in each of these in each of these places as well, right?
Yeah.
Same with the bikers. Like, there are civilians in these groups. The entire area is not made up of one group. This is the group that's in charge of the civilians in that area. Right? Like, the LARP group isn't made up of nothing but LARPers. It's just the LARPers are the ones running the civilians.
Where's the civilian faction?
Dead.
The civilian faction
So
doesn't
good.
exist
Looking at it.
because that's why they're civilians.
They're actually the secret other faction called the zombie faction.
Let's be honest, if there's a civilian faction, the LARP faction is probably it, or the
Yeah.
bikers.
Yeah.
Right?
So I guess we ought to be gearing up to head down to the yacht.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
I'm assuming he told me where it was.
Yeah, they gave you the information for it. I'm not going to
And-
make you call back for that.
Yeah.
In the water?
Yeah, in the water.
No,
it's on the
land.
coast. It's on the dock
Theseus'
somewhere.
ship. Theseus' yacht.
Yeah.
Love that.
It's on
Um,
top
so-
of an apartment?
Just for. Yeah. the
You know what?
wild
You got to
party.
get this yacht and put 2 of every animal left of New York on it.
Ah, just rats.
All right. Reproduction.
New York is the antithesis of Alberta.
True.
Just for record keeping, where exactly is the yacht at? I imagine like somewhere down here.
It's down in the marina
Ah.
area because, again, it's in the docks, right?
Yeah.
Like, the yacht has to be by a proper port. It can't just park anywhere.
Yeah. Well,
So-
I'm sure there are docks all along.
Yeah, there are. You'd be surprised actually how few, like, the docks aren't covering everywhere. Usually, there's not as many docks as you'd think. There are several docks, but most of them are, as I recall, from the southern area. For example, you're not going to have docks anywhere up here, for example,
Yeah.
nor
Well, this
anywhere
looks
in.
like docks.
Huh?
This looks like docks.
I'm not sure if that's docks or just how the land puts out. I mean, the map doesn't show the docks, so it's hard to say.
The land is putting out? Good lord.
It's a peninsula, like, where they're jutting out.
Ah,
Because you don't generally have docks where bridges are, right? Because then you got to go through the bridges to get your ships through the docks, right? So
well, there's quite a few actually, like along the Mississippi is one of the big ones.
yeah. I imagine most of the docks are down in these areas, but for the purposes of we don't need to worry too much about it. For the purposes, it's in the marina area. That's why they can get it, right? Like, they need you to clear it out so they can get their troops on there afterwards, is what they're asking. They might be able to do it themselves as well, but you asked if you could help.
Yeah.
Right, that's the thing.
Yeah.
It's not that the mariners can't eventually clear out the yacht, you were just asking if there's anything you could do.
We are helping. We could also just like ask them to send a few of their dudes.
Yeah, I mean, again, you can get troops to help you. It will help cut down the numbers. As I say, though, there will be losses involved, just because, again, it's a fight, and these are not aces. One hit kills them.
Sorry, I got genuinely curious as to where the docks are, and there are docks all along the coastline except for specifically where the mariners are.
Oh, really? It's a weird spot. This is more over in this area where it is?
It's all along, like, all three, like, there are jetties all through up here. Not saying, like, this is, like, bad or anything. Of course, we can just have the docks here. I'm not, like, arguing that. I was just curious, and seeing that this is all beach territory and the rest of the entire region is docks got a good chuckle out of me.
Yeah, fair enough. I assume by the marine park there'd be some docks.
I suppose not.
Yeah,
like I said, I just googled it and it cracked
like
me
I said,
up
I'm
seeing
basing it off the fact how I've seen docks in Vancouver, and that's how they're set up in Vancouver. I don't know what they're like in New York. I've never been.
It looks like horribly.
Yeah, because in Vancouver the docks are set up by the outside area, right?
Yeah.
But in any case, it don't matter. That's just where I put the docks for the sake of separating the map.
Nah, that's fine.
This is not a 1-to-1 ratio. Neither was there a goddamn Japanese temple built in the middle of New York on a hill.
No, like I said, I was just curious. And
oh yeah, that's fair.
This was only beach. Cracked me up.
No, this here. You mean the Fort Tilde area, or?
No, all along the south of Coney Island.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, if it's beach, then there wouldn't be so much docks because you want the docks less beach area.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, fair enough. Don't matter.
So I imagine we should start reloading up to get everyone going down there. Liz, how many men do you think there can go?
Can I get a number, Heath, on how many I think would be at least not completely useless in a fight?
Roll me... This technically would be a battle knowledge test for certain. I'll tell you what, Andy, if you want to put 1 point into battle, I will let you switch out a skill, dip a skill to add a skill for this, because you weren't thinking about battle, but you probably should have for this character. So if you want to dump your repair for 1, put your repair to 6, and put a battle at a D4, I'll allow it. For example, or healing, one of your skills.
I might drop. Yeah, you know what? Okay, I gotta pull up the sheet again because there we go.
You can drop your athletics, you can drop your driving, you can drop your fight, you can drop your healing, you can drop your repair or your shooting, or your stealth.
I'll drop my stealth, I think.
Okay, drop your stealth to a D6, and you can slap in your battle skill. Then you can roll me a battle skill check, as opposed to making an unskilled attempt, because it makes sense you'd have some battle smarts, being the fact that you're a soldier.
Yeah.
So I'll allow it for this sake, and we're still learning the damn system, so.
Yeah. All right, so it's just a D4 right now, right?
Yeah, just a D4 now, just because of that factor, giving it to you. You have basic knowledge at least. Okay.
Woohoo.
It's like you know how to fight, but your body.
It's
might
been a
not
while.
be able to keep up with everything.
You're out of date.
And I was. Listen, Liz was fighting off in jungles. She's not as competent in urban warfare.
He was just a
So-
boot.
Yeah.
Out of focus or out of practice, out of prime.
Okay, so
Yeah.
you gather out of the camp the ones that aren't being already used for scouting. You could probably grab about 20 or so.
Okay.
Before it starts
half.
dipping into what they need. Well, half of what you trained.
Yeah.
They're in total, like combat ready people in the park or in this group entirely. You're looking about 1 to 200. But you can't take all of them, otherwise the park will be completely defenseless and overrun by zombies by the time you get back. Right?
Yeah.
Like that's the
Also,
thing.
do
They have
still
to keep a majority of their troops behind to keep the borders up.
Also, do we still have a couple of rifles, so we do at least have a bit of range from the when we shot up those church guys.
Yeah, you have a few rifles, but again, most people here are not trained with them.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I still don't think rifles are going to be the best move in door-to-door engagements.
Liz is gonna
Well,
just
again,
scratch her
the
chin.
soldiers you take will be there to lessen the amount of troops you face in total. If you took no troops, that would be a massive amount of zombies on the boat you'd have to take care of. Unless you think of some
Yeah.
clever ways to get them off, like you were suggesting.
Yeah.
But the troops will let you lessen it so it's more manageable for you guys to go in and clear the boat out. For the purposes of gameplay, you guys will clear the boat out without the soldiers. The soldiers are there to lessen the amount you'll have to face.
Liz is just gonna scratch her chin and say, if I had to put a number to it, maybe I could think of a full squad at least. I could get together a full squad at least.
And again, you are allowed to ask the Mariners as well to support you with troops.
That's true.
Like, you can do both.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
yeah, then we'll reach out to them.
Yeah, and just we'll move it quick. They can also supply you about 20 troops, so 40 in total.
Okay.
Ah,
Perfect.
now we're starting to get a crew together.
So now we have a platoon. Excellent.
Whatever that means.
Squad is 10 to 20, platoon is 20 to 50, and then 2 platoons is I can't remember now. Never mind. Company, that's it.
I was gonna say
Yeah,
company.
Yeah. Yeah, we should be able to at least They should be able to at least fight off a few zombies while we deal with the bigger numbers.
Well, I suppose I'll let them know we're on our way. I imagine
Alright.
they can drive themselves.
Alright, well, I'll go and grab...
Well, you imagine they could drive, but for the sake of the fact you guys are all driving, I'll let you decide what you want. They can make their own individual driving checks. Or when Andy makes his driving checks, it'll have a bigger minus because he's applying it for everybody.
I'll be basically leading a convoy.
Yeah, exactly. So you lead the convoy, but that means your driving check will have a bigger minus because because it's going to take at the minimal 3 vehicles to grab it, like 3 more vehicles to drag all 20 soldiers over.
Yeah.
Minimal of 3 vehicles, right?
Yeah. I'm personally okay leading a convoy if people are willing to assist me in that.
I think that's the better option, just because you have bennies and they don't.
Well,
Yeah.
technically I have bennies, but yes.
Heath, can we tap into your bank real quick?
Maybe. But for the sake, you guys will do that. It's already 8:43, and to be frank, I'll have to boot up the map and everything next time and work out
Yeah.
the mathematical statistics for your 40 troops.
Understandable.
Yeah, I figured that with that much discussion to figure out what we were doing, once we decided it would probably be the end of the session.
Yeah, because we're already 2.5 hours in, and then I gotta build it, and this wasn't one of the maps I had ready. I just gave you guys options because I know you wanted them, and I have these maps, I just don't have the encounters built yet.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
Because, again, how you set up the encounter mattered with whether you're going with troops, without troops, and what you were doing.
Yeah.
Right?
Quick question. I'm sure I would have been told this by the Admiral. Are the troops he's supplying armed with firearms?
They are mostly harpoon guns and shit that you saw last time.
Legendary. I need one.
But yeah, they don't have a lot of guns because, believe it or not, boats don't tend to shoot their fish.
They should, but they won't. Cowards.
But yes, okay. So with that, you guys have taken the yacht route. So you get. I will just put this down in a little note for everybody. I am going to create a little section in your guys' journal for everybody to have. There we go. And I will add yacht. So you guys took 40 troops with you. This is just so we don't forget what we have. Any other things you guys wanted to prep with for the yacht?
Any like major like loud noisemakers that we can use to lure them off the boat?
You're gonna have to get more specific than that, because
Well-
gun?
That would work. Anything like speakers that we could charge? I mean, we do also have 20 people in armor, so I imagine they can also make a fair bit of noise.
to be fair, those 40 troops are going to take the zombies off the boat to fight them for you guys, right?
Yeah.
Well, I was just going to have us try to lure them off the boat and into the sound.
Yeah, not as useful as you think it'll work, unfortunately. Because to lure them towards off the boat and into the sound has to be close enough for the boat to reach, right? Which would put you guys clearly in their view. Because it's a dock, there's not a ton of cover.
Yeah, fair, but I also don't think they're smart enough to...
Remember, visual will always overcome audible, remember? So if they see any of you, they will go after your group and ignore the sound. That's how the zombies have been working.
Yeah.
So if they see any of your 40 troops, they will go after your troops, for example.
Well, another thing is as long as we can haul off the gangway, then they'll just end up falling still into the sound regardless.
Yeah, well, like I say, it depends what you guys have for sound, what you think. You'll have to think of that. You guys got pretty much a month to think about how you want to do the sound thing. I'll allow it. You guys will have to think of something, though. I'm not coming up with it for you. Like,
we need to steal some fireworks at some point.
yeah. Again, like, these are things you guys will have to come up with. Again, if I think it will work, I will allow it, but you guys have to convince me that it'll work, in other words, right?
Duda, this is a party boat. What do you think is going to be on the ship?
Audi.
Drugs.
Party.
The answer is drugs.
Party, man.
I can't wait to do necrocane.
I like that. So anyway, so yeah, you'll get noisemakers. I've put the mission up for you guys for the yacht. I'll also add the other pages for missions as well we discussed. Not that we'll add anything to it, just so we don't forget them.
Mm-hmm.
So we got power station. We also have the alliances. Police. For army. I will put that in there specifically for them. Then finally, zombie special zombie. And that one you actually got some info for, so I'll add the info so we don't forget. Okay. So, anything else you guys wish to look over? You guys have decided that you are going to do the route for the yacht. You will have your groups together. You will have 40 troops. You'll make your drive. We'll do that next game. All at once, since it will be quick and easy to get going.
Sounds good.
So, I think you guys have everything you're looking for. And obviously, after the yacht, you guys will level up.
Nice.
You guys can start discussing what you want to do after that for the next move. So, with that, I guess we'll end it there unless anybody else has any more RP they'd like to do.
Not that I can think of, other than roping Cade into more dubiously wanted conversation. But I think that'll happen, quote unquote, later.
Yeah, that is fair. Okay, in that case, I'll end it there for the night, guys, because again, I'm exhausted and so are other people.
Yes.
Fair enough.